The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn and we are all about metaphysical topics, the angelic realm, astrology, and what all that means and how we can use it to improve our lives, soul growth, just a spiritual perspective. So that's what we're doing here, and today we're going to talk about Mercury retrogrades. We have one coming up, and also the angel of communication, which is Archangel Gabriel, and how you can work with the essence of an angel during certain influences. So we're looking at what's going on with astrology and what's going on for that, and how can we use that for soul growth and just to personal self-improvement, and how can an angel be there and guide us through something like that? So that's what the topic is today, and I'm going to go through different aspects because we have Mercury retrogrades fairly often. They happen 3 or 4 times a year, and they last about 3 weeks approximately, 20, 21 days, something like that. So this is the second one for the year, and they get a lot of people that have heard about Mercury retrograde. All planets will do a retrograde at times, but Mercury seems to move through them quicker. And it gets a bad rap because it's about communications or what can happen. But remember, there's positive and shadow side to everything. We all have that, and it's what we're wanting to make choices with. So the more aware you are that, hey, you know, I might not be feeling this as positive as I'd like, you can look at that and not punish or be hard on yourself about it, but more, yeah, I'm feeling that shadow side a little bit. What can I learn from it and then improve it and move toward a higher, more positive vibration or approach? And it's quite empowering when you can look at the shadow side of life, or if you're having one of those days, so to speak, and let it teach you what it needs to show you, because sometimes that's where we need to shine the light in our lives. So we're going to look at the Mercury retrograde and with Archangel Gabriel today. So first off, so let me give you a little bit about this. So Archangel Gabriel is not just the angel of communication, but also an angel for creative arts, one that's wonderful if you work with children. It's a wonderful angel. Communication, what does that mean? That means communication, period. Like, do you listen clearly? Do you see? Or I'm sorry, not see. Do you hear, listen, speak your truth, things like that. Very much about the 5th chakra, obviously, which is your throat chakra, which is about communication. Are we listening? Are we being clear and speaking and communicating clearly? Are we being misunderstood? Would be a shadow of that. If you're finding that a lot of misunderstandings happen, that's where a Mercury retrograde can highlight where that is, because communication's in lots of different parts of life. It could be communication with your higher self, your own self, listening to you, your inner voice. It could be miscommunication with relationships, personal, business. Where's the communication clear and where is it not? A retrograde in Mercury takes us and slows us down. All retrogrades do that. That means in astrology that the planet has stopped moving forward, or direct is what they call it, and it slows down and it starts to go backwards a little bit. So we look at that in astrology for how it can help us as Well, it could help us with review in life. So depending on the planet, that would be where the focus is. And also looking at where it might fall in your own personal chart. So this one is Mercury Retrograde in Gemini, and it begins on May 10th. And it will end and go back direct on June 3rd. So from May 10th to June 3rd, we have this retrograde opportunity to do some review work. This one's a little bit more potent, and the reason for that is it's landing right in the middle of eclipse season between two eclipses. We just had a solar eclipse. We just talked about that, and that just happened on April 30th, and that was a very strong solar eclipse. And we also have a blood moon eclipse on May 15th, so this retrograde is falling right in there and will be in that. So that makes it interesting too. So in astrology, Mercury is known as the planet of communication, also the planet of your state of mind, your mental state. You know, where are your thoughts? Because it's an air sign and it's about mental things and thinking. It's also about travel and your contracts and, you know, your commitments and things like that. And a lot of times you'll hear, if you have a lot of big decisions to make, wait till after the retrograde passes before signing a contract or something like that. And why do they say that? Because this is the opportunity to review and look at it, find some clarity, see where there might be a hiccup here and there. Where are you possibly misunderstanding, or is this truly what you want? If you give yourself that time to just thought process that a little bit, and then say, okay, yes, I still want this, or okay, after the retrogrades, then that's when you sign. So that's why you would hear that sometimes, is because make sure it's clear. Make sure it's clear. We also find that in retrogrades, a lot of times electronics can be very strange. For the last week, I've been noticing that here, and I'll tell you, for the last 2 days, I'm thinking, okay, you need to work now. And yesterday we had a bit of a challenge just trying to get internet back. So here we are. It all worked out. And I always do a backup recording just in case any crazy stuff happens. So, you know, sometimes you might see that things are just not lining up right when it comes to electronics, devices, technology. That happens. Miscommunicating or misunderstanding one another. So this is one of those times where you want to give yourself the 10-second rule that we talk about. Let me think before I react. So you are actually responding instead of reacting. We're not going to be perfect at that, but it's a good way to practice improving our skills with communication, because this will make us more aware of where things like that happen. So if you move too fast through things like this and you don't wait and you use this time for mental reflection, that's where miscommunication can come in. But what we can do here with Archangel Gabriel is we can find how to look at things differently, a fresh new perspective, so to speak, to just see it from the other viewpoints, become more aware of a situation from different angles. And this is where the universe can bring in the aha moments. Oh, wait, I get it now. And everything can change almost in an instant when that happens. You might have been struggling for a really long time to heal or recover from something, or move past something, or let something go that just troubles you. And then in these aha moments, all of a sudden, what used to feel so painful is just suddenly gone. To me, those are miraculous moments. I've experienced a few of those where you feel like, is that ever going to stop hurting, or is it ever going to move forward? And finally it will. And it happens. It happens for all of us. But these are opportunities for you to be very proactive and creative and be a procreator in your future and moving forward. So if it starts on May 10, let me go over some of this crazy stuff here so you'll know what's going on. So it's in the air sign of Gemini, for one. And then it will end, when it begins on May 10th, it's in the air sign of Gemini. And when it ends, it'll be in the sign of Taurus. So that's what they say in astrology. So between if it came between the eclipses, that's where you're going to feel a heightened energy. You might be feeling a little more sensitive in some areas. Don't be hard on yourself. You might be finding that, you know, misunderstandings are happening with people you know. You just have to take a deep breath and just know this too will pass, but what is there to learn from it? You know, it can happen. If you're feeling extra sensitive, it might be that you want to look at your personal charts to see where Mercury is, you know, in your natal chart and things like that. Now, that's a whole different topic for you to do some homework with. But Mercury is being here, if it's the planet of communication and our mental thoughts, you know, where this is considered, Mercury is considered in mythology, it was the messenger of the gods. This was the messenger. This was like our communicator. This was one that passed the messages back and forth. So when it enters retrograde, it pulls back. When you look at the ancient astrology and the old mythology, the energy shifts into more of an internal reflective time. So you might be feeling like that. You may not. It may not affect some of you, but I'm explaining what it's about. Because this takes you inward, it becomes more intuitive insights. It becomes more, you might be picking up more psychic messages, because what was hiding underneath, and sometimes that's called the shadows of, you know, life, just the quiet internal stuff, that's being brought up for your awareness. So the uncomfortable spots, I wanted you to look at this positively, because those parts that are uncomfortable, or the parts, oh no, not that, those are the parts that you want to look at in your life. Those are the ones that are giving you a clue as, hey, that's coming up for healing. That's coming up for healing. So what might have been hiding in there is being brought to your awareness. This is where you can look at this differently, like, it's not comfortable, I don't like it, but at the same time, that is something I want to move on past. I don't want it to do that to me anymore, kind of a thing. And this is very mental stuff. So you're going to feel, it'll feel like you're more in your head with this one. We're encouraged to go slower with this energy so we can look back over the things and contemplate them and think about things before we move forward. That's what that 3-week period can give you. That's till June 3rd, remember. So it might be that you'll go through the whole 3 weeks and still not be sure what you want to do. That's okay. It may not come to light until toward the very end, or it comes all the way out after June 3rd and it goes direct. Everybody's going to feel different. This is not the time to push for an answer, honestly. This is a time to be reflective and pay attention to how you're feeling about things. The sad, the positive, the good, the bad, all of it. And don't be hard on yourself when you feel like you're going into one of those more negative emotions. You need to look at why you're having them and think, why does that happen? Why do I feel like that? Because it's giving you opportunity to heal. And don't go through it by yourself if it's overwhelming and too much. Sometimes it can be really tough stuff for people. I'm not making light of that at all. Been there, done that. I understand. So, when we're going through a Mercury retrograde, it's kind of like you're traveling into the hidden messages. Okay, you're going into the higher truths, maybe some intuitive insight that could have got lost along the way. So that review goes back and it's like, what did I miss? Did I drop something on the way? Did I leave something behind? So it suggests to wait. Like I said, it's good. It's often suggested to wait to sign contracts or do major booking of travel or anything like that. It's not like you can't, but you know, if you feel like something's off or you feel a hesitation, why ignore that? You know, just listen to your intuition. It's about, don't rush through the really big life decisions in general. You know, just take the time to contemplate and see where you want to be with it. All these hidden messages pop up to give you insight. It could be a clue. It could be something very important that you had no idea about and you're really glad you did before you signed on the dotted line, so to speak. It's not an unlucky time. It's more of a reflective inward time. And I think it's been labeled that, my personal opinion, Sometimes it just gets labeled this time that's not good because of miscommunications and mishaps, and that happens if we're rushing too fast and we're not acknowledging what it's trying to show us. So on those days you're feeling a little extra sensitive or maybe a little more grumpy or short-tempered, things like that, take a deep breath, slow it down, give yourself some time. Give yourself, do things that settle you and don't feel rushed into anything. So it's normal to feel that way sometimes when it affects you a little bit. It can be a challenge if you become impatient. You don't want to be rushing through this one. That's where all the mishaps can happen if you're rushing. What has helped me with it a lot, and especially because I do live streaming, all the technology, okay, are you going to work today or not? I remember that would be so frustrating when I was a lot younger, and I've had to just go with the flow. I can have a plan for the day, and it can completely change on me. I can plan to be here every single week, and then I can't all of a sudden. I can't force something that is redirecting me and I didn't expect it. That happens. I'm giving you an example with what I do. And if, I put it all together and then it doesn't work, well, they're right. Okay, why is that? It doesn't mean everything failed. It just means, the universe redirected you a little bit. And every time I just go with that flow, it's going with the flow and kind of going, okay, internet's not going to work today, so I'll be fine. Gives you a few hours break if you want to look at it that way. Or, okay, something's amiss here. It's taking time and not letting those things control your life, but going with the flow. We come in and out of this all the time. That's just an example. If you were really set in stone for it to go a certain way and you're pushing and you're rushing and you got all this mental clutter and you're trying to multitask way too many things and push, you might find that that's where you'll find some of the mishaps or the miscommunication that can happen during a retrograde. It's easier for it to happen then because the retrograde, it means slow down, not go faster. That right there is a clue. Right there, it's like, it's not working like it normally does. Well, just slow down for a couple of weeks. We're talking about approximately 3 weeks here to have a slow down and tap in, tune into yourself and listen to that. It's also a time where you need to pay attention to what it's showing you. Where are those sensitivities? If that's what you want to look at. If it wants you to slow down, then it wants you to pause. It wants you to really tap into that intuition and subconscious. It wants you to review the hidden messages that we're always too busy to look at within ourselves. Not from somebody else, not even from somebody that does what I do with readings, but what about what your subconscious, your intuition is picking up. It helps you pick up and go into that. So if we're always in a rush and we're racing around, we're missing a lot of stuff. So this retrograde can take you back, slow down, and pick up all the things that dropped and got scattered or got misplaced or, oh, I forgot about that. These are very valuable insights that become lost in the shuffle when we don't slow down at all. So instead of trying to rush through or avoid a Mercury retrograde, tap in and listen to what it's trying to show you to help you and improve things, because that's what it can do. Absolutely. It's a good time to go review it. It's a reflection time of the past. You'll find that, past dreams, past memories, things like that might pop up. Old things, old history, just history in general will pop up a little bit more. You might feel like, wait, I need to settle that. That one feels like I need to heal in that area. Things like that. It'll show you those because they're just being avoided. So this gives you opportunity to look at that. So if it's on May 10th, that's right in the middle of the eclipse portal, okay? So we're in that eclipse portal now because the energy of an eclipse lasts about 6 months. So it's already sensitive anyway. So know that that's Mercury will be dipping you into some things that might feel a little more sensitive. You might find that you're like, gosh, why am I crying all the time? Or why am I feeling like that? It's weird when you're feeling that way, but at the same time, just ask. This is where Gabriel can help so much. Just say, Gabriel, help me with this one. Help me understand why is this being highlighted for me? And just listen, because it will show you. That's usually how he'll show you a different perspective of it, so you can go, oh, I never noticed that before. I didn't realize that. I was totally misunderstanding that the whole time. Things like that can happen if you just go with that. You might feel the fogginess of the mind because you got so many scattered thoughts. This would be good for grounding. Remember, grounding, all you got to do is feel the bottom of your feet on the ground or the floor and just anchor back in. You'd be surprised how much clarity that'll bring your focus back into the now. So sometimes when we've had troubled pasts, or people have had, really tough things they've been through in the past, and the history comes back up, then you feel like you're stuck in it. You're reviewing. You're not there. You're reviewing it, but you're not in it. You're now. So whenever you feel like you're getting stuck back there, ground, anchor in, it brings you into your now, just like that. It does. It really does, because sometimes we just want to avoid feeling it. Our feelings are there to show us what needs the love. I mean, sometimes these things are coming up because those are parts of us that we don't want to deal with, but we need to for healing. And don't hesitate to ask for help or assistance with somebody when you feel like it's too much for you. Don't do that by yourself. You can, but if you feel like, oh no, I'm going further down, then ask for help. Ask for help. There's people out there for that. This is a ruler of the mind. Mercury's a ruler of the mind. So see, that's why it can feel like, wait a minute, why is it feeling like this? Because it's just processing all this stuff that we've got going on in there. And life sometimes can make us feel like we're just rush. This is an opportunity to take a slowdown. Don't rush. Don't feel like it all has to work out perfectly. It's letting go of it all being exactly like perfect. And it can remind you of that. It can. So it's more about slowing down, being a little bit more patient. Don't rush through something. The eclipse intensifies. That's why this one will feel stronger. You may already be feeling it. You might already be feeling some sensitivities or having some strange dreams, or just feeling the sadness of something that maybe you're still healing from, things like that. We have a blood moon coming on the 15th, and that's about ending and closing a cycle, because that's a full moon. So those deeper insights, this retrograde coming on top with that, it could, as you start to get some things, it might actually help you with those closures that have been difficult in the past. It can slow things and delay things, and then that extra time can be that gift that, like, you know what? That's what I needed to see that I couldn't see before. Now I can move forward. Now I can release that. Because the full moons are about the releasing. And it's called the blood moon because of the gases cause a red hue. That's science. That's why it's red, but that's what, you see all different things in movies and stuff when you're watching things, but in general, it's just because of these atmospheric gases or something like that cause that red hue. When it's in the Gemini sign, it can intensify energies as well. And that is because that happens on May 24. But Gemini is a mental air sign as well. Then it goes back into Taurus, which is an earth sign, which is more of a grounded sign. So, it'll settle. It'll settle. This is one of those opportunities. It's a little more intensified to help us get things up out in the open and be done with it. And then we can move forward. Now, what I want to do right now is I want to go through the different signs. So everybody knows when they were born. Hopefully you know what your sign is. And this is just a sentence or two in general about all the different signs and what the Mercury retrograde could mean for you. Kind of like a horoscope, but not a horoscope. It's just a little bit of, like, for example, Aries. Anybody out there with an Aries sign? This could be a reflection time and thinking about how you want to communicate with people around you a little bit more. Aries has a tendency, they are very go-getters. Sometimes they can go so fast that the delivery is not exactly, gentle, but that's just an Aries, that's normal. So this will help remind an Aries, so to speak, about choosing those communications carefully, slowing that down and thinking about it. If you have difficult conversations coming up, you might want to be taking that 10-second rule. This, will be a little bit more emphasized for someone that's really, whoa, in there. It's lining up your heart's intention with the words before you speak them will be very, very helpful during this time for someone that is an Aries and a go-getter like that. So for Taurus, let's go through Taurus. I'm going to go through all the signs. So Taurus, if you're a Taurus, you might have unfinished business out there, a lot of it. What needs to be tended to, what needs to be finished. You'll be reviewing that probably. This can bring your attention to things that were never completed or never resolved, and just wrap it up and take care of it. Be done with it. Just finish it. So it's a lot of like the unfinished things. That could be your healing, your closure for things that were causing pain or mental things. It could just be projects that you never finished. It could just be the unsettled things. So you want to feel a sense of accomplishment here, and you will. So you want to look at, while it could feel challenging to look at all these things that aren't finished and you want to finish them, you don't have to finish them all in one day. Just get a plan going and start. Get one of them finished at least. That's going to give you a sense of accomplishment, and that's going to be a very beneficial experience for someone with that Taurus energy that, that can happen, that has a tendency to happen. So Gemini, now remember this went into Gemini here. So if you are a Gemini, Mercury is basically the ruler of your air sign. Think about it that way. So you're that mental thing, and you can always feel those effects a little bit more. You're one of those bright ideas, and you're always looking for something else you can do. But in this energy, you are being asked to slow down a little bit and be clear about what you really want, because that's natural for you to, okay, I'm mental, I'm going to think about this, I'm going to analyze that, I'm going to do this. But a lot of Geminis are analytical. This is going to be asking you to slow down and clear up what you really want. Just not get redundantly overthinking something. That's what I'm getting from that. So this could be what's going to really feel right for you in a week, a month, a year later on down the road. You're looking to see if that's what you really want to anchor into. So if you are a Cancer sign, this could unearth information that surprises you, deep subconscious stuff, someone, the nagging feelings, the nudgings, the feelings, that's a very family-oriented sign. So you could be feeling heightened about, trusting what you're feeling. Why does that keep coming up? Why does that keep, because, just because it keeps repeating, or these feelings or this repetitive vibe you keep getting, doesn't mean it's trying to drive you crazy. It could be a gentle nudge to help you heal. That's how Archangel Raphael works all the time. He's very gently nudging you to do what you need to do when you're asking him for healing. Gabriel can help all of these signs that we're going through clarify how you're communicating. So if Gabriel is the communications angel, and it's also an angel of creativity and projects and art, or if you are a writer, or anything, you don't even have to be an artist. Maybe you just want to create a new pathway in what you do, whatever it is, and you're trying to come up with an idea to approach different. This was a good time to reflect and think about things. So that's that one. So let's see, where are we? Leo. So if you are a Leo, It's important that you're listening to your instincts and trusting them. That's what this one's going to bring up for you. It might be feeling like, do you trust what you're hearing from another or a group? I mean, do you feel like they're telling you the truth? Do you feel like is it real or not real? I mean, is this something you can trust? You need to pay attention to what your instincts are telling you. Your intuition is going to let you know whether you can trust this or not. That's something that's coming up for Leos. So you want to pay attention. Don't overpromise what you can't deliver. Okay, watch that, because it's harder. Sometimes we might have these great ideas and we have intention, and then we just can't follow through. I mean, I've had that happen, and I have like, yes, this is my intention to do it, and then unexpected things come up, and it happens. This is bringing attention a little bit more to just make sure that you can actually, if you offer something, that you can follow through. It's a little bit more heightened for a Leo here. Virgo is, Mercury is also your ruling planet. That's another air sign. So you're looking to, where do you need to assert your boundaries? Do you have some areas that the boundaries are not there? They need strengthening, they need clarity. And then what's going on in your environment, in your world, where boundaries might need some attention. So look at that. Are you clear about your expectations? Are you willing and able to resolve a miscommunication if it happens? Things like that, or some sort of disagreement about something. So Virgos, you're looking to be clear. This one is real specific for you with what a Mercury retrograde is. Just be clear about your communication. Was there a misunderstanding or a disagreement? And are you patient enough to stick with it? Set your boundaries, be clear. Be clear and confident about where you're standing, but also work to harmonize that communication. Libra, this is about reflecting on everything you've learned. What have you learned? Have you taken time to look at what you've learned? This is about life. What's life teaching you? What has your life been teaching you this whole time? If you looked all the way back, as far back as you remember, what are you learning? What have you learned? What are you working on now? So this is a quiet time to look at what you've been working on for your insights and awareness. Very deep, inward time for a Libra too. A Scorpio. Okay, we're almost there. Scorpio, you're looking to pay attention to your dreams and that subconscious voice, that quiet inner voice. You're going to get the most out of looking at the dreams, paying attention, maybe writing down your dreams and really looking for what clues are in the dreams. You might find that you want to feel a little more withdrawn, go within and contemplate some things. This is a good reflection time for you and what's good for your soul, what's good for you, and how to really find clarity in how you really feel about things. So this is a deeper time. Scorpio is a go deeper anyway type of sign, but this one, look at your dreams. Sagittarius. This one is about, are you looking to reorganize your life? Are you wading through stacks of disorganized papers and a closet that needs to be redone? Whatever. You're looking to just organize life. This one is, what do I need to fix that's so a mess? That's kind of like what you're looking at. It's about boundaries while you're doing this, but you're looking to organize things that feel scattered and disorganized. It could be approaches, it could be something in your physical environment. That's what you're looking for. A Capricorn, this is be careful not to bite off more than you can take on or handle or keep up with. Don't overextend. Don't overextend yourself. This is reminding you to be a little bit more picky about what you choose to commit to. You want to make sure that you're dealing and addressing self-care issues that you may need to put in place if you have been putting that on the back burner. This one is a balancing act for you. You're looking to not overextend and bring the self-care in, and just look for that awareness where it might feel lopsided for you. Aquarius, you might find that you're looking and revisiting all kinds of stuff like relationships. You might be finding that your boundaries need some no's here and there. You aren't saying no enough. Where do you need to say no? Where do you have a boundary that's out of place? What can you take and learn from this? So Aquarius, you're looking to address patterns that seem to need some healing in the relationships and how you communicate with yourself and others. Are you listening to your soul, your higher self, your true self, your inner voice, things like that? What is there a repeating pattern that could be better with things that you have in your life or other people? You're looking for what you need to learn and change, move on, things like that. Pisces, last one. Pisces is a very sensitive sign. It's a very spiritual, connecting sign. So you and your space around you is going to matter to you right now. You might want to set more boundaries. You might feel like the boundaries are too closed and maybe you need to open a couple of doors here and there. It might be the opposite for you. But you want to surround yourself with living a situation where if you're making big decisions, you, again, especially a Pisces, you want to wait until after the retrograde. But you're looking to think, okay, I need my space around me to feel settled. So you're looking for that. So this retrograde may bring up areas that doesn't feel like that for you. And what can you do to change that? So that's a little bit of a quick overview of how the different signs may or may not possibly feel this retrograde. To go deeper and more specific to you, you would look at your natal chart and just see where things are lining up, or your transits, and that's astrology. This is an overview for you to get an idea and to understand retrogrades in general. Archangel Gabriel is a great angel to work with this. Gabriel can help you with this. Honestly, if we feel like we're just not seeing the bigger picture, or we need to look at this differently, or wait, I need to see the other perspectives. I can't figure out where the other parts of the group are coming from, stuff like that. This is where you would want to ask Gabriel to help you see things differently. Help you to see it from many, that's the best thing to do, I think. When you can ask and allow yourself to see things from many different perspectives. You may not understand them, you may not agree, you may have only seen it the one way, but if you can allow yourself to see things through another's eyes, or another way, another perspective, another angle, then you get a clarity on the bigger picture. You are able to pull up and see the bigger picture and the dynamic. That is probably one of the best things that I believe Gabriel can help anybody with, no matter who you are and what sign you are, during retrogrades or anytime you need clarity, because just allowing yourself to see a different perspective and another viewpoint opens and expands your awareness. I mean, when you can expand your awareness to hear and listen, and it's like listening, I mean, sometimes we may shut it down because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. But maybe if we just took that time to listen and then make sure you're not shutting down your own voice. You do want to speak up and have your own voice. But miscommunications, believe it or not, I believe come from so many different perspectives that are coming from all these different angles, and we just didn't hear it the way it was intended. That happens. Miscommunication is miscommunication. So let this opportunity here help you grow into something different, help you expand, help you get through some things, because being an eclipse season, it's a lot more intensified. So I want to go over, that's the gist of what's going on. I want to go over and say hello to everyone in the group and see how everyone's doing. Let's see here. Hello to all of you. Let's see. Phone and computer have been, so see, I'm kind of scanning through the messages over in the live chat. So welcome to everyone that is here. Let's see, Maddie's saying her phone and computer have been overheating all of a sudden. It didn't even occur to me that Mercury retrograde might be a factor. Yeah, yesterday we had the weirdest things happen and we were just baffled. We were like, how in the world? We had things on our server that, you know, and we know, we're aware of keeping a server locked down, but we had things on our server that we don't even have. And I'm like, okay. And the first thing you're thinking of is, who is on our server? How did they get in? Because we keep our stuff pretty locked down. And I mean, we had somebody's thermostat, you know, and we're like, wait. So we're in there closing everything down. And then it was like, I couldn't get anything to work. I know. I don't know, but I've noticed that in Mercury retrogrades, it can get quite interesting and you have to just go with the flow. I've also had that happen when I've done energy healing work in live shows. It can get weird. So the dynamics and the devices and the electronics can do that. Overheating phones and computers. Is it trying to tell you to just take a break from the devices maybe? Maddie, I don't know. That's very strange. The 10-second rule, yes. The 10-second rule is really good. And that's not that much time. I hear a lawnmower next door. The 10-second rule is a great one. You can take longer, but if, you know, when you just want to go, wah, wait 10 seconds and then see how you feel about how you want to respond to something. It can make a huge difference. So I like our 10-second rule. We talk about that a lot here. Journey to becoming you. I'm late, but I'm here. Well, welcome. That's okay. Anytime is a good time. So she is saying she's Virgo. Feel it in your gut. Okay. Angels, can I call on, what angels can I call on to help with that thing called boundaries? It seems to have fallen out of my vocabulary. Okay. Okay, boundaries would be Michael. That's the protector. So if you're thinking Archangel Michael, he's the protector. When we have boundaries that are just not in place, or they're too like swinging revolver doors, and you want to like tighten that up. And he's the one that he's the one that can help you with that. Gabriel can help with the communication. So you're being clear. You can also use any angel for boundaries, guardian angels as well. But boundaries would be more of you're protecting your inner universe. What your boundaries, you are within your space. So sometimes we're just we don't know how to say no when we need to say no. Sometimes we say yes too much. Sometimes we say no too much. That would be opening a door. But if you're feeling like you've got to get the boundaries back in place, I would definitely work with Michael. Just ask to shore up your boundaries and to be clear. This retrograde for you in particular would be perfect for, okay, my boundaries feel a little wishy-washy, and where do I need to be clear? And this would be a great opportunity and time for you with this retrograde and Gabriel to clear up where the boundaries need to be strengthened. Then Michael can help you with the strengthening. So that would be the answer to that. Let's see, Maddie, this is giving me so much to think about as I'm getting super clear about what services I'm offering as a coach consultant. There you go. There you go. This is going to be a good time for you, because if you've got to have your balance, you know, yeah, that's going to be good for you. Angels have any advice on the timeline and what I'm trying to do? Well, it's definitely not till after June 3rd with this retrograde. Here's what I also am picking up, and that came in very strong right in the middle of the sentence. This eclipse season is going to enlighten you quite a bit. Eclipse seasons can be 6 months. I'm not saying it's going to take the whole 6 months, but don't be surprised if it took a few months or part of it. Because eclipses heighten and intensify all of it, it's going to let you dive in deeper and see the nooks and crannies and the insights you're looking for on what you want to do. And you know, things can evolve and change constantly. But I while I was answering that, definitely wait till the 3rd, after the retrograde, I heard eclipse season. So I'm just delivering what I picked up. It was really strong. Oh, you are welcome. Journey to Becoming Me. You're so welcome. And I wanted to say hello to Shadana and Anahis. Let's see, who else was in here? Okay, I got you. I just wanted to make sure I was saying hello to everybody. So if you are feeling or relating to any of this, you are not alone. So guys, when this starts happening, when you start feeling this, okay. I mean, there's days, I mean, for the last week, I mean, sometimes we just couldn't get something to work. So guys, I was just having to go with it too. And honestly, yesterday afternoon, I was thinking, am I going to even be able to go online? And I'm talking to the IT and I'm like, am I going to be able to do a live stream tomorrow? I mean, I had it all ready to go and it was just crazy. I always have a backup. If I'm not here for some reason, there's a reason that I'm not here, just know that. And then I will always try to get a recording or something up if I had that. So if we had a moment to reflect on everything that we've learned today about a Mercury retrograde, and we had time to reflect for the next few weeks when this starts, and then we weren't afraid to look at it, because it'll probably bring up some things. Usually if you're trying to heal, it's going to bring up the things that need healing. That just makes sense to me. I mean, it is going to bring up the stuff that needs healing, right? Well, we need to know what they are. And we've talked about that before. We've talked about, well, I don't know what to heal. I don't know what's causing this. I don't know why I feel this way. This is that time to go in and go deep. It really is. It's a time to just take it in, go there, think about it. So let me see here. Anna has, does Mercury retrograde have anything to do with me feeling tired? I've been doing my usual routines to stay grounded and active, but my body keeps asking for sleep. Okay. Those are natural cycles of balance to me. Now, when it comes to energy, obviously, you know, unless you've got something going on medically, which we're not doing medical stuff here, but energetically, a lot of times our body is saying, hey, we need some balance. I'm going through my routines, but are the routines redundant? Sometimes we just tired of a routine. I'm picking up, am I tired of this routine? Do I need to change it up? Do I need to spark it up, make it more interesting? Well, I'm picking that up out of the blue, and that's what I'm feeling. I am seeing Gabriel come in pretty strong for you, because it's like I need a creative, inspirational spark is what I'm feeling for you. Also, make sure self-care and that you're not running yourself into the ground and you're exhausted because there's not a balance on taking care of yourself. That can happen too. So we always want to look at everything. I'm a very logical kind of spiritual person. I know it's funny because when you're spiritual, intuitive, or you can do this, we can be the worst skeptics, but it's true because we want to trust and we want to know it's real. But whenever I'm picking something up, I always look to say, I always do my checks. It's like we have to have physical balance, we have to have physical health, we have to have spiritual, mental balance, and we're looking at what feels out of whack, what hasn't had enough, tending to. So I'm feeling a little bit of all of that for you, but I'm feeling like there was a boredom, or like you just need something interesting to spark things up. You have routines that you do, and you like your routines, and at the same time, I'm feeling that there needs to be a spark of something. And that's what I'm picking up for you. It was Gabriel, very strong. He's very good with the creative side. So maybe ask about that. That's what I'm picking up for you. You're welcome, Maddie. End of eclipse season sounds so long to wait. Hopefully June 3rd's okay. Well, yes. I had to tell you that when I said June 3rd, I'm thinking, it's June 3rd? Yes, for sure with you. Because you're that multitasker, go-getter anyway, so you might find it hard to restrain yourself from going. But just be ready with your plan, This is the time to find out what would be better or tweak. I don't think it's going to take the whole eclipse season, but the eclipse season it might be a little bit past it feels like. So just don't be surprised if that happens. You are so welcome. Everyone, it was an interesting show to do today. For me, I always find this stuff fascinating anyway. And I've always seen where Mercury Retrograde gets a bad rap and everybody complains about it. I've even heard, and I know people that they won't even do live readings or live shows. If there's a retrograde, they won't even do them. I guess I just go in there anyway, because I was like, no, if the universe doesn't connect me to the internet, or if it falls apart, then it falls apart, but I tried. So I'm not saying don't try, but be careful with something that would commit you permanently too much. Like this is something that, well, I'm going to go ahead and plan a show, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, I'm planning to do them in the next few weeks. If they don't work, I got backup plans, But I'm saying that to let you know that not everything in your life has to just stop. It's more of those, if you have really big decisions or contracts to sign or big choices to make, and you haven't quite gone there yet, and you could give it a couple of weeks. That's what I would do. If that were me, I would absolutely do that. This is that opportunity to dig a little deeper and find some hidden messages, gems, insights that will be very helpful down the road when you do make the decision. So guys, that's what I have for you. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's always great to be with you. And I'm going to take off, and I will see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jenn.com.